All praises to the Most High, Ahaya, and to his son, Yahayasha Hamashai, Yadahaya. This is Brother Holly with the second Spirit of Truth broadcast here on the AHAYAH'S channel, as well as the House of Ahaya channel on this set-apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, brothers and sisters, I like to give all glory, praise, and honor to the great I am, he who is, was, and is to come, the Almighty One, Yadahaya, and to his holy son, Yahayasha Hamashai, who gave himself for us that we might have life, and that life is in him, Yadahaya. Now, in the second broadcast, again, we're going to get right to it. We'll be reading a little bit from Exodus chapters 8 and 9, and we'll be reading from Psalm 105 on how when the Most High poured out his wrath on the Egyptians, and how he made a separation, as it is, between the Egyptians and his people, the children of Yashahaya. All praises. We'll be reading from the Hebrew Yahshua Scriptures, Paleo Edition. Turn to Exodus chapter 8. And this is a very long read. And I suggest that you read it from time to time. We're not going to read all of it here today for the respect of time. And we really want to get into what is talked about in Psalms 105, which we'll read a lot more. But we're just getting some backdrop and some background here from Exodus 8 on the subject of did the Most High make a difference between pouring out his wrath on the Egyptians and on Pharaoh and his household than his own people. See, a lot of the portrayals of these events that you may have saw in a movie, read in a book, or had it preached to you at one of those houses of ill repute. You know the places, the tithe taking, pork chop eating, Sunday go meeting places. You might have heard this preached to you that these plagues were on everybody. Most High plagued his own people. He did not. And it's very clear from the scriptures he did not. And it's important for you to understand in these days, now that we've had somebody declare himself to be Pharaoh. Someone just this week, leader of one of the most powerful nations on the planet, declared himself king, declared himself Pharaoh. And this Pharaoh has the children of Jacob, the Hebrew people, under his thumb right now. And he has launched an attack against their livelihoods. Not just ours, but a lot of people, but mostly ours. And like I said in the first broadcast, if you look like me, and you're here in America, everything is turning on you. You look like me, they want you as despondent and as broke down and as hopeless as possible. But we're not a people without hope, child. We were given the COA, or the course of action, in the first broadcast. That's what we are to do in these times. For the Most High about to pour out his wrath, just like he did on the first Pharaoh. The second Pharaoh, who just declared himself Pharaoh, he about to get poured out on. Let's read Exodus chapter 8, verse 20. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he comes forth to the water. And say unto him, Thus says Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me with Yahweh. See, we can't serve Yahweh perfectly under Pharaoh's rule. Not this Pharaoh, not that one. Why? Because this land that we sit in right now, America, is full to the brink with idols. There's idols in every one of them houses of ill repute. There are idols with the Christmas tree. There's idols of statues. This country honors with statues traitors. Those the Confederate general statues, which they revere and protect by law. Every last one of them jokers was a traitor. See, this is the morality of this country that we find ourselves in. They brought us here. We didn't ask to come. But we asked him to leave, and we're going to leave with substance just like our foremothers and forefathers did. You giving us reparations or enjoy the rebukes. That's all there is to it. I'll read it again. Exodus chapter 8, verse 20. And Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he comes forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies among you, and among your people, your servants, and among your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that you may know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth, where you highlight. He's going to sever his people. He's going to sequester his people. I have seen this myself, child. About 6-7 months ago, when I was living beachside, a tornado, an F2 tornado, struck my neighborhood where I was living. My house shaking. You hear a roar outside, my house shaking. I'm downstairs praying. I'm downstairs in the downstairs bedroom, underneath the stairwell, praying. Water pouring in the house through the exhaust vent, all over the kitchen floor. So it lasted about a minute. I went outside after the storm moved on, and my yard was littered with shingles. I just kind of bowed my head. I didn't want to look, because I looked at my neighbor's house in my cul-de-sac. Some of them had a whole side of the roof just ripped off. One of my neighbors had the air conditioning unit picked up off its foundation and thrown. And their roof was just peeled back like you peel a orange. So I just kind of bowed my head and I just walked out so I could see the roof of my house. Not one of those shingles in my yard were mine. I walked around the back of my house. Not one of the shingles in the back of my yard were mine. They were all my neighbor's shingles. My house was 100% safe. The only thing that happened, the rainwater was forced in by those winds through the exhaust vent in the kitchen. And there was some water on the kitchen floor that I cleaned up with some paper towels. That was it. The Most High made a difference that day from the dwelling of one of his people and the dwelling of the heathen. The heathen's houses got tore up from the floor up. My house was safe. All praises. Here in Exodus chapter 8, same thing going on. We'll read it again. Exodus 8:21. Else if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon you, and upon your servants, and upon your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Egyptian shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereupon they are. And I will sever in that day, I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that you may know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign be. You're going to see it. The Most High going to put a difference between us and the Egyptians, us and the Americans, us and these heathens. You declare yourself to be Pharaoh? Fine. You want to put your thumb on the scale and your knee on your neck of the Most High's chosen people in this country? Fine. You want to fire us from our positions, our jobs that we've had for years and earned the old-fashioned way? We didn't steal it. We didn't cheat. We didn't do nothing. We just served the Most High, and we were promoted, for promotion come from him. You want to kick us out of what we rightfully earned? Fine. Enjoy your rebukes. Enjoy the swarm of flies, Pharaoh. Oh, he gonna put a difference. We ain't gonna suffer like you gonna suffer. I told y'all on these broadcasts about a month ago now, about 3 weeks ago now. I was getting my car worked on, children, and there was a woman. She wasn't a Hebrew woman, by the look of her. And this woman, I don't know what was wrong with her, But this woman was covered from head to toe in boils. Gigantic boils were all over her body, in her face, on the back of her neck, on the front of her neck, on her hands, on her arms, her legs, her everything. She was covered. But these boils that were in her, you could see them in her head, through her hair. And she was just sitting there looking miserable in the waiting room. When I saw her, I was so shocked that I had to walk away. I didn't want to touch nothing that woman touched. I didn't know what that woman had. But she was covered from head to toe in boils. Then I walked down, I just took a walk. I just had to get away from that. I took a walk down the street, and here come another man who wasn't a Hebrew by the look of him. He just came up out the blue, talking about, well, we're in terrible times right now. We're in terrible times right now. You need to prepare yourself. Times is terrible. Times are hard. Times are going crazy. I went, okay. They're losing their health, their wealth, and their mind. The plagues of Egypt are upon them. The plagues of this country are upon them for how they treated the sons and daughters of Jacob. I didn't bring it. They brought it by their behavior. Their Pharaoh called for it. He called for the rebukes. He's going to receive them. He's going to be plagued until he does like the Pharaoh in the scripture does. Be forced to let the people go with substance. We ain't playing with y'all no more. I'll read it again. Exodus 8:23. And I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahweh did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servant's house, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by the swarms of flies. Will you highlight? This land gonna be corrupt. But what about the place where the Hebrews live? What about Goshen? We ain't got no flies. We ain't gonna have no plagues in Goshen. I told you, children, you got to make your water and your food sure. And I told y'all, the Most High gonna make that do that for us. We read it. I read it to you in the first broadcast. The Most High gonna tend his vineyard. He gonna water and feed his vineyard himself. All around us gonna be desolation, child. All around us gonna be degradation. All around us gonna be plague. We're gonna be fine. These heathens gonna lose their minds, their wealth, and their health. You might as well just say goodbye to your favorite heathen. You got to live in separation from them. Because the Most High has put a division between them. They're going to envy you. They're going to hate you even more. Just like the Egyptians did the children of Yashahaya in that day. Verse 25, Exodus 8:25. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, Go, sacrifice to Yahweh in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do. For we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to AHAYAH. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of Egypt before their eyes. And will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to AHAYAH. And he shall, as he has commanded us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to Yahweh in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. He said, pray for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from you, and will entreat Yahweh, that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh. We know the story. Pharaoh reneged on it. Just like Asheville, North Carolina, reneged on their promise to give reparations to the foundation of Black Americans. Passed a city council ordinance. I think the vote was 11-0. Unanimous. We're going to give reparations to the FBA, the Foundation of Black Americans, within our city, within our jurisdiction. That was in like 2020. And it was 2024. Almost four years to the day they made that proclamation. that a hurricane came through their township and flooded the entire place, wiped Asheville, North Carolina off the face of the earth. You remember a few years ago, the state of California was talking about giving reparations to the foundation of Black Americans, and they reneged on it. Once they saw how much it was going to cost, they said, "Oh no, we ain't doing that." The Most High burnt up Hollywood, burnt up Malibu, burnt up the rich folks in LA. But if you notice, Watts wasn't touched. Not one ember was in Watts where the Hebrews live. You know, the Most High made a difference. I'll read verse 23 again. I'm going to read that into your hearing. Exodus 8:23, and I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. I'm reading this into your hearing today, child. The Most High today is putting a difference between us and these heathen in this country. Tomorrow you'll see the sign of it. It's begun. All right, let's go to Psalms 105. You've heard, you've read, you've seen. I know some of you want to argue in your mind that the Most High is just that ain't the Most High. It can't be. No, that's not the Most High that they created for you. These heathen created a Most High for you. The one they worship. The one they worship, love, and treat everybody the same. The one we worship makes a difference. The one we worship said, come out from among them, be separate. The one they worship said, everybody join hands, come together. Did not the Messiah say, I have not come to bring peace on earth, but division? AHAYAH'S, the Messiah, the son of the great I am, said, I've come to bring division. I've come to set at variance one against another. That's what he came to do. Wow. Psalms 105, verse 1. Oh, give thanks unto Yahweh. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Where you highlight. Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk you of all his wonderful works. That's what we do here at AHAYAH'S house and House for High. Exactly what Psalms 105, verse 2 said. We always talking about what he's done and what he's doing. All praises. Glory in his Kodashia name. His name is holy and set apart. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. Children of Ahayah, children, hear me today. Let your hearts rejoice. Seek the Most High, the great I am, with all your heart, soul, and mind. And show your love to him by keeping his commandments, and he shall keep covenant with you. All praises. Seek Yahweh, verse 4. Psalm 105, verse 4. Seek Yahweh and his strength. Seek his face evermore. Seek Yahweh and his strength. Wow. You're going to need it. Remember his marvelous works, which he have done, his wonders and his judgments of his mouth. O you seed of Abraham, his servant, you children of Jacob, his chosen. Will you highlight? That's who needs to be seeking Ahayah. That's who needs to be considering his wonderful works. That's who needs to be going into their house and shutting the door behind them. That's what these broadcasts are for. Let's find out who these broadcasts are for. Psalms 105, verse 6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, you children of Jacob, his chosen. That's who I'm talking to. That's who I am, and that's who I'm talking to. He is Yahweh, our Hayah. His judgments are in all the earth. He have remembered his covenant forever. Verse 8. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. He's commanded that word to 1,000 of our generations. He ain't talking to them heathen. Never did. Verse 9, letting you know which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Yahshua for an everlasting covenant will you highlight. Answer me a question, child. How long is everlasting? How long is that? Forever. All praises. Saying, unto you will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. When they were yet but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it. When they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The anointed of the Most High only come from the seed of Jacob. That's it. His prophets only come from the seed of Jacob. That's it. Nobody else. Most High ain't raised no prophet in Africa. He ain't raised no prophet in America. He ain't raised no prophet nowhere else except amongst his own people. All praise this. Moreover, this is Psalms 105:16. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He break the whole staff of bread. Yeah, that's what he's calling for. Famine coming. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant. Do you not know that you and I, child of Jacob in America, we had you could put whichever one of your ancestors came here in the bottom of a cargo slave ship. Put their name right there. Was sold for a servant. My ancestors got sold for a servant. His name was Ashanda. His name means he who will be prince amongst his people. Whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron, will you highlight. So whatever your ancestors' name was, their feet were put in fetters. And their feet were laid in iron. Until the time that his word came, the word of Yahweh tried him. The king sent and loosed him. We were loosed by the emancipation. Even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him master of his house and ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure and to teach his senators wisdom. Yahshua also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies, will you highlight. We the strongest people in this country. Mind, body, and soul. He turned their heart to hate his people. So these heathens, our enemies, who we're stronger than, who we're above than, who we're better than in every effectual measure, they gotta rig the game to stay ahead of us. The Most High put it in their heart for them to hate us. They don't hate you because they want to. No, Most High put it in their heart. The same Most High that hardened Pharaoh's heart back in first Egypt is hardening the Pharaoh and the Egyptians' hearts here against you. I'll read it again. He, speaking of Yahweh, turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. They slippery when they're talking to you. You gotta watch them. They slippery. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, who he had chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Do you not know that within a week of the of Pharaoh, the current Pharaoh here in America, within a week of declaring, changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico, within a week, there was a red tide killing fish. Within a week, after changing the name. Yeah. He turned the Gulf into blood and killed and slayed the fish. That's why I'm reading this today. Well, all this stuff, this blow by blow, what the Most High gonna do? He's already started. He turned their water, verse 29, Psalm 105:29. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance. In the chambers of their kings he spake, and there were divers sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. Will you highlight? So these pestilences are coming to this place where the new Pharaoh is. He been told, let the people go. Now he want to persecute people. He want to put his thumb on the scale and kneel on the neck of people. He want to undo. I mean, it's bizarre. Some of this on the same day he supposedly honors our people, he gonna fire one of the most influential ones for nothing. Same day. Like he don't really know what he doing. Pharaoh he in bad straits, but he's being guided into the news. This it's about to happen, child. It started already. Every move he make is just gonna be sowing seeds for his own destruction. I'll read it again. He spake, this is Psalms 105:31. He spake, and there were divers sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain and flaming fire in their land. Now we didn't read it from Exodus chapter 9, but the hail and the thunderbolts and the flaming fire falling from the sky only fell on Egypt. It didn't fall in Goshen. You can go to Exodus chapter 9 and read it for yourself. We did read from Exodus chapter 8 that the Most High made a division between his people and the Egyptians. He's making that same division today for the same reason. Their rebukes, their retribution, their punishment is your deliverance. Because of the way they treated you and still treat you. Because of their envy and strife and their jealousy. They got to be dealt with. Verse 33, he, speaking of AHAYAH, smote their vines also and their fig trees and brake the trees of their coast. He spake, and the locusts came and caterpillars, and that without number, and did eat all the herbs in their land and devoured the fruit of the ground. He smote also all the firstborn of their land, the chief of their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold. There's the reparations I was talking about earlier. See, once the Most High kill them off, kill off their strength, take their strength away. Oh, he got to get us out. He got to sequester us out the way. We got to get out the way. They kicked us out. They kicking us out of all their spaces. They don't want to see your face. Fine, we'll go to Goshen. Goshen right there in Egypt. We'll be right here in America, and he'll be pouring out his wrath on them. It won't be bothering us. They'll have flies in their house. There ain't no flies in our house. They'll be sick. They'll have boils. They'll have a pestilence. A pestilence going to kill them all. We'll kill off most of them, the strength. And the ones that be left, and Pharaoh going to be left, he going to give us everything. He going to, please take this reparation and leave. Please. It's going to be the biggest check he ever wrote. This country ever wrote. It's coming to you and me, child. It ain't coming to them. Mexico's going to be gone. Japanese going to be gone. Haitian going to be gone. He kicking all them out right now. All of them going to be gone. Ain't going to be nobody left but the Hebrews. That's all going to be left to receive reparations. And we don't want that to deserve any reparations. All these other groups have already received their handouts and giveaways. Now, he putting them on planes, buses, and trains to get them out of here. They ain't kicking us out of our jobs. Okay. We'll be fine, child. We'll be fine. Most High got us. He going to tend his vine like he said he would. He going to water it and give you food. He going to watch over it day and night. He said so. We just read it in the first broadcast. I'll read verse 36 again. We're almost done. He did eat up all the herbs in the land and devoured the fruit of their ground. He smote all the firstborn in their land and chief of all their strength. He brought them, speaking of the children of Jacob, forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. Among the 12 tribes, there ain't going to be a feeble person among us. Not one. See, we're not going to be plagued like they are. We're going to be spared these plagues. Oh yeah, Most High know how to do that. He's going to attack them at the difference. They've been telling you forever that everybody's saying, no, we're not. They found out during COVID that everybody ain't the same. If you got Neanderthal DNA, COVID could be fatal to you. It wasn't fatal to sub-Saharan Africans. All praises. People that look like me. If you were otherwise healthy, COVID didn't attack you like that. It didn't try to kill you. Now, if you had existing conditions that weaken your systems, then yeah, it could take you out. Now, if you're healthy, all praises. I'll read it again. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among them. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them fell upon them. We highlight. So these heathens here in America gonna be glad when the Hebrews leave. We gotta go, children. We gotta go. We can't stay here. I know there's some in these Hebrew streets talking about we're gonna stay here. We're not gonna stay here. This ain't our land. You can't be brought to the land of your enemies in the bottom of a cargo slave ship and be brought into your own land. That's not even feasible. It's not even feasible. I read verse 38 again. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them fell on them all. He spread forth a cloud for a covering, and fire to give light in the night. The people asked, and he brought forth quail, always providing. We had the pillar of smoke by day for shade, and the pillar of fire by night for warmth. In the wilderness. We weren't in the wilderness planting vineyards. We weren't in the wilderness planting fields. We weren't in the wilderness doing none of that. He was providing food, bread and water. Water from a rock and bread from heaven. And when we wanted some meat, he gave us quail. The people asked, and he brought quails and satisfied them with bread, with the bread of heaven. He opened the rock and the waters gushed out. I just talked about it. They ran into the dry places like a river, for he remembered his Quadashia promise. He remembered his holy promise, his separate promise. And let me help you. Did not the Messiah say, don't give the dogs that which is holy? We can't give the promises to the dogs because the promise is holy. We can't give the covenant to the dogs, to the other nation. Because why? Because the covenant is holy. We can't give the word to the dog, to the heathen. Why? Because the word is holy. It's a separate word, just for me and you. It's not for them. Verse 42 again, 105, 42. Psalm 105, 42. For he remembered his Quadashia promise, and Abraham his servant, and he brought forth his people with joy, and his chosen with gladness, and gave them the lands of the heathen. And they inherited the labor of the people. We're going to get their stuff. We're going to leave this Egypt with silver and gold. We're going to leave with our reparations. We're going to go to another land, and they're going to give us that. We're going to take their stuff. All based on the covenant. All based on the highest power and promise. And all based on his might. All praise to the Most High and to his son, AHAYAH'S, Yadah.